Hi everyone and welcome to your weekly energy update, a general tarot guidance taking a look at how the energies of this week are likely to play out in our lives, both individually and collectively. For the overall energy, the cards that popped out are the High Priestess in reverse position and the Seven of Wands. And before I begin the interpretation, I would just like to mention that the High Priestess in reverse position, well, it is such a very fitting card because it speaks about the astrology of this week where we have the Sun in Pisces, and on the 25th of February, Venus is also joining the Sun in Pisces. And amongst many other things, Pisces also rules the unconscious. It rules the mysterious, ethereal, watery world of emotions, the soul, our psyches. It also rules spirituality. It also rules the distant past and karma. And when the sun, the main luminary, enters and activates this part of the sky, well, everything that is there, everything that is lurking below the surface, everything that exists in the very depths of our emotional world, everything is illuminated, so one way or another, our conscious minds can perceive it. Sometimes they can perceive it as it is, but other times they can only see the symbolism. So whatever we may find in the depths of our emotional worlds, in the depths of our souls, may be very, very symbolic and subtle to our intellect. And also, Pisces season is one of those periods of the year, so every single year, when the main theme is karmic purges, psychological purges. This is where we release everything that doesn't serve us anymore. May it be, for example, a connection with a person. May it be an emotion. May it be a trauma, an obstacle, a blockage, or something that we constructed psychologically ourselves and no longer fits us. Or the time has come for us to see the truth and transform it. But at the same time, so much, especially the karmic nuance of Pisces, doesn't, as in directly depend on us. When something is fated, as soon as the planets, as soon as the energies align, well, that is going to enter in our lives one way or another. So, certain things also depend on divine timing. Like, for example, if something is fated, for example, harvesting the rewards of our past actions, something positive that we might have done for another person. It can also be if fate basically owes us to find out a secret kept hidden from us, to find out the true feelings, emotions, thoughts of a person, or to basically look at something which happened in the past and left a very strong emotional impact on us through a very different lens, very different eyes, to have a different perception about it. Well, all of these things are very likely to take place during Pisces season. And another important period of the year when these purges, confronting the truth, a period that just simply invites us to purge, to do inner work, to pay attention to our psyches, to our unconscious minds, is of course Scorpio season. But now let's return to our reading. And from a collective perspective, the High Priestess and the Seven of Wands is very straightforward. The High Priestess reversed represents secrets. It represents the truth, or a part of the truth of the big picture which has evaded our attention. It hasn't been the subject of our focus, or it has simply been kept secret from all of us. So this High Priestess reversed from a collective perspective, well, that is disclosure. That means secrets being revealed. that means that either intentionally, where perhaps a group of people desire and take action in order to reveal something, to shed light on something hidden, or it can be fated, it can be karmic, where maybe skeletons just pop out of the closet, or something that we weren't told can just reach daylight, and the Seven of Wands, how we react to it. So partially, of course, it is going to take us by surprise. It is going to shock us. And a lot of people, that Seven of Wands, might challenge or rise up against those group of people who kept the secrets, who used manipulation to pull the wool over all of our eyes. Now, another expression of this energy, well, it is very Scorpionic, because it can represent that all of this revelation or disclosure or shedding light on something might not be fated at all. It might be the results of an investigation. It might be the results of research, some kind of detective work, and it can be something totally official, something totally going by legal standards. So another expression of this energy can be that investigation, for example, where the coronavirus originated from, how it kind of spread over the world, which country is responsible, or, the investigations with the World Health Organization. Did it make the right choices? Does it give the right guidance, guidelines, etc.? So something is definitely going to show result, an investigation. It can also be journalism, like a journalistic investigation. It can also be forensic science. It can also be secret services, because the Seven of Wands is a military card, and the High Priestess, that it operates in secret. So a lot of things can just enter our awareness surprisingly, unexpectedly, shockingly, and it will provoke a very strong emotional reaction from perhaps all of us. Now, individually, this energy can play out either way, because the High Priestess reversed and the Seven of Wands can equally represent a really powerful, a very intense, almost savage psychological purge, when a lot of bottled feelings, emotions, traumas, the past, and all the feelings correlated to the past can just burst, can just explode like a volcano. And the Seven of Wands, we have to confront them, we have to come up with answers that we have to give to ourselves. So for a lot of people, especially those who are usually very tough emotionally, who are very self-sufficient emotionally, those who basically try to handle everything by themselves, they want to rely only on themselves. Well, for these people, it might be a little bit emotional, it might be a little bit depressive, but not that kind of lethargic depression, if you know what I mean. Not when everything seems blocked and you're just lost and etc. No, this will be almost like a cry out for help, where this High Priestess reverse might represent that suddenly, unexpectedly, in an instant, in a flash, perhaps due to a communication, an epiphany, a moment of sudden realization, or a dream maybe, they just become aware of what they desire the most in life, or who they truly are, what they truly want deep within their souls. And the depression comes as, okay, how do I obtain this? What do I do with this now? Where do I start? What do I have to do to make my life, to transform it into an authentic shelter, a sacred temple where you can just experience, live out, enact your soul level desires. So this goes way more beyond than human identity or the ego, our earthly conditioned self. This sources from the soul, this sources from the divine spark. So this can be for some people extremely intense, shocking. It can be like a psychological chaos when their unconscious minds are almost more active, almost more present than their consciousness. So it is a very overwhelming energy where, we kind of know things for certain, but at the same time we don't know anything at all. So it's almost like a dichotomy, feeling so very found within yourself, but feeling so very lost in life in general. But I do promise that this is not anything negative. This isn't doom and gloom. This isn't the dark night of the soul. One way or another, regardless of what might happen in your life, but especially in the most subtle senses, karmically, or what might happen psychologically, your dreams, or whatever it is that you're feeling. As I said, that soul level volcano erupts. Well, it is leading you to your greatest, to your highest good. So don't panic, don't feel depressed, don't feel anxious. Just receive it, accept the surprise, accept the truth, and know that the reason why it came into your life right now is so that you can work with it very, very soon. But as I said at the beginning, this can go either way. So the other side to this energy, especially for people who are very artistic, who are very deeply spiritual, dreamers, those who truly like to access altered state of consciousness through any means possible, well, this can be a truly fantastic period, because this is when you are in your element. If soul searching and understanding yourself and etc. is part of your life every single day, well, then you can imagine that these secrets or revelations, epiphanies that the High Priestess reverse depicts are gonna be deeply spiritual, deeply transcendent, almost magical. So for you guys, your unconscious mind being so very active is actually a delight. And this Seven of Wands just represents that whatever takes place in your life, may it be synchronicities, may it be a prophetic dream, may it be a deja vu, or one way or another having access to your previous existences, or an inspiration or the urge to create something artistically, or a song, or anything that has to do with divine guidance, dreams, the soul, inner world, whatever happens, well, it is meant to empower you. It is meant to bring out the true spiritual warrior from inside of you. Pure psychological empowerment, giving you the power to focus on what's most important in your life. This is when not just mind over matter, but also spirit over matter, the High Priestess. But even for you guys, this can be extremely overwhelming, so be sure to keep measure. Be sure not to sink to the very bottom. Even if the tides pull you, you still need to be on the surface. You still need to be in tune with reality. You still need to have a very grounded, rational, and logical approach to everything. So be sure not to allow this massive spiritual empowerment wave to carry you way high up in the clouds. And finally, yet another version of this energy can represent that secret enemies can suddenly be revealed. Now, when I say secret enemies, it doesn't mean enemy in the classic sense of the word, as in, I honestly believe that most people listening to this guidance, to this channel, are not people who have enemies. So don't take this symbolism very seriously or literally. The best way to exemplify it is, if someone is posing as your friend and you confide in them and whatever, and maybe is gossiping you, or maybe they told something to another person that they shouldn't have, maybe a secret you trusted them with, well, this can be revealed, so of course this will change the relationship. But at the same time, another perfect example, if you are confiding in someone who doesn't really have very good intentions, but you're not aware of this, maybe it's a toxic person, maybe it is a person who is good intended, but it's so very self-victimizing that it just becomes toxic, and all of these things can be revealed regarding your relations, especially those side of them which you're not aware of. And also, this can be perfectly valid in a collective sense as well, because this can also mean severe mistrust in an authority, regardless if the mistrust is based on truth or it is just what people want to think or feel or whatever, but it can represent a lot of opposition. So again, a theme for this week is also protests, uprising, rebellion, conflict. Just that instead of big clashes, this is where both sides take defensive stands. So the best attack is defense. So this may represent some kind of legal preparation for a bigger battle where they might confront each other in a court of justice or in parliament or anything which has to do with an ideological battle. Now for the guidance part of the reading, we have the Three of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, and both of these cards depict a really, really good, fortunate, favorable energy. And we must not forget that the Sun in the sign of Pisces reveals the divine pattern inside of us, giving us the chance to see a part of ourselves which under normal circumstances is a total mystery. But this is also perfectly valid the other way around, where if we initiate any kind of communication with the divine, let's say the simplest expression of that is prayer, meditation, or just directing thoughts to the divine mind, well, that open channel of communication, when it becomes mutual, as in the divine reveals itself to you, but you also reveal your deepest thoughts, desires, etc. to the divine, and this creates a very powerful channel where karma can just enter your life much more directly and in a straightforward manner than at any other time. So this can mean a lot of good fortune, because when the divine sees you, as in you invite the divine to look at you, to directly observe what is in your heart, what is in your soul, what is in the most purest corners of your mind. It can also see your needs, perhaps certain needs that you never voiced, perhaps certain needs which you're not even aware of. So this energy can create a lot of moments of good fortune, breakthrough, synchronicity, being at the right place at the right time. This is where you can also use this Piscean energy, especially after Venus enters in this sign on the 25th of February, to attract karmic completions, karmic rewards, karmic harvest into your life. So the message of this Three of Wands and Two of Pentacles is very clear. It just says, even though this week is definitely going to be, let's say, intensely spiritual, this is where the inner world and whatever we have inside our psyches, good or bad, is definitely going to be emphasized on. Yet there is another layer of life where things can come together practically, as in, if we are careful to always stay grounded in physical reality, down to earth matters as well, regardless of how active and chaotic the unconscious mind may be during this period. This is where the Three of Wands, a lot of opportunities, offers the big picture, new perspective, new possibilities, new paths to get where we want to get in life, to accomplish what we want to accomplish, our desires, our goals, what matters to us the most. Well, these opportunities will start appearing in our lives, so we need to pay close attention and we need to filter them. This Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is a really good energy of material change, progress. This is where you're saving, this is where you're building. Things are slowly but surely coming together. And it's also a very lucky card. So everything that you need for your progress, for your growth, for your material evolution is definitely going to be provided either by karmic forces or by your own psychological power, your magnetism, your power of manifestation, so to speak, but not necessarily in a deeply spiritual sense, but rather sheer willpower, something that is available to every single human being, regardless of their life philosophies. And naturally, we also have a relevant dance between two planets in the sky, a trine between Mars and Pluto, which means exactly this: the psychological force, the willpower, the sheer intensity of desires, which have to influence reality in any way, shape or form to give you what you need, to help you walk on the path, on the road chosen by you. And if there is a disadvantage to this, that is actually quite positive, because it means tumultuous opportunities, many different versions, many paths or possibilities to get where you need to be. And of course, this also means that you have to filter them. You have to make sure that you're always in balance. You have to make sure that if you want to take a risk or something which has no guarantees, that it's not over your limits, that it isn't a path which has failure written all over it rationally. And also, the two is always a choice, so you have to choose what works for you the best and what you might want to decline and try out at another occasion, somewhere in the future. For those who are looking for a job, those who are looking for a change of career, or those who are looking to take their business to another level, this is really good energy, because it means opportunities, it means connections, it means that you will have the foresight that you need, you will also have the information that you need, and perhaps more importantly, that psychological empowerment. You're definitely gonna believe that you can do that it is in your power, that you deserve it, you can work with it, and you can perform very well regardless of what you have chosen. And in many cases, the two can also represent help. Help from another person, help from someone in your family, from a highly influential person, someone totally new, or someone from the distant past. This is where professional, material, lucrative partnerships, collaborations, connections can actually take place very quickly and give birth to something unique and wonderful for the future. Now finally, we got to the part of what the universe advises us to be careful with, And here we have the Ace of Cups and the Princess of Swords. Now the Ace of Cups is definitely one of the expressions of Venus in Pisces, where she is in exaltation. That means feeling a kind of love which might be difficult to tune into in other parts of the year, in other periods, because the Sun in Pisces and Venus in Pisces is love in its most unconditional expression. So that means you might simply feel full of love, full of emotion, full of the desire to share and give, maybe sacrifice. So this is just a divine warning to have measure even in this. To know that you're under the influence of a very idealistic, very pure, very innocent kind of energy, which doesn't even want to have any limits, bounds, or anything. This is basically Venus's time, as in love and beauty, to shine in her most unbound, most sacred expression, and that is exactly what she's gonna do. But Venus is a planet, so her symbolism, her manifestation, her expression becomes alive in us people. So she can only experience her higher qualities through us, through our emotions, through our emotional world. So of course we are going to be influenced by this. So all the universe is telling us to be very careful not to go over the limit. For example, you might be feeling full of love and compassion, empathy, generosity in this period, but be responsible who you share this with, because that person might get the wrong impression. That person might actually think that you're in love with them, or that you are promising them something. And when your feelings change, because this energy will definitely tune down as soon as Venus enters into Aries. So don't get lost in emotion, even if that is pure bliss, even if that is a blessing, even if that is the happiest day of your life, the happiest moment of your existence. Don't get lost in it. Of course, enjoy it, embrace it, live it, but try to be very responsible when you share this elevated, exalted moment of emotional escalation with other people, because they might not really understand, they might not really feel the same way that you do, and they might take it the wrong way, and that might cause further explanations, complications, etc. But of course, another expression of this energy, for those who are going through profound psychological purges, they might be feeling quite the opposite, profound unhappiness. And what the universe advises you is, well, it's absolutely fine to feel that unhappiness, because the reason you're feeling it is to know the difference, to know what the opposite of that actually means for you in your life. And it will, Princess of Swords, it will also guide you to how you can enable feeling the opposite of that in your life. So whatever is taking place is happening for a very, very good reason. And even if you find it very hard, you must just trust that process, because it is actually happening for your greatest good, for your greatest advantage emotionally. You know, life and fate and even karma comes in waves, ups and downs. So feeling that down in that moment means that very soon the opposite of that is going to appear in your life. So don't take it personally. Don't allow yourself to drown in the energy of the cups, in that Venus in Pisces. And finally, another advice, well, this comes from a more spiritual perspective, because as I said, this Sun in Pisces and Venus in Pisces, it is very spiritual, dreamy, even paranormal, supernatural. This is when your unconscious mind is working overtime. So this may mean a lot of dreams, unusual perceptions, unusual alternate state of consciousness. When they do appear in our lives in a very tumultuous way, well, we might have the tendency to interpret every single gesture, to interpret every symbolism, everything. But we must also be aware that some of it is not susceptible to interpretation because we are not ready, we are not intelligent enough as human beings. So we must also accept the fact that some of the perceptions or signs or dreams, whatever we may receive at this time, is gonna be understood perhaps in 10 years, 20 years. So all the universe is saying, don't rush to rationalize and interpret everything. Some symbols or synchronicities, guidance is just meant for your soul, and you can only understand it through non-linear logic. Well, this concludes the reading. I do hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. I would really like to express my gratitude for all the likes, all the truly beautiful comments, all the positivity that you guys bring to my channel. Thank you so very, very much. So until next time, bye for now.